What's up, y'all? Boogie Knight here, and apparently I've gone through a time portal because here I am, years later, doing an Off the Rails episode. Now, long time ago when I started the project, I did a few rant pieces that I promptly stopped because A, they were unfunny, and B, they were charmless. I am a far cry from grade A under A. However, this is a topic that has been bothering me for some time now, both as a content creator and as an audience member, as well as the fact that I know that has been bothering some friends of mine that I've worked closely with. So that being said, here we go. Now, before I go into the meat of this entry, I do want to exemplify a phrase that I will be using probably frequently during the course of this, and that is called hyperbolic discounting. Now, what that actually is, it is a psychological concept where it is described as our immediate needs of the short term are incredibly more valuable than that of the long run. Think of it as a very micro versus macro perspective. Now, there was a study done some time ago where children were given one marshmallow. Now, if they could go a 15-minute interval without eating said marshmallow, they would be given 2 marshmallows, no other strings attached. All they had to do was wait out that 15-minute period. Now, some of the children were able to wait that period out without any kind of issue, and were given the second marshmallow. So 2 for the price of 1. Why not? However, even more of those children were not able to resist the urge of that siren's calling and ate the 1 marshmallow because that was the immediate reward as opposed to thinking further down the pike. And, well, okay, so while that kind of seems a little bit childish, it does present a conundrum for people, and that is that by thinking in such short term, they could not possibly, and I'm using this term very loosely, possibly have more cognizance, be more sociable, and other kind of results that came from said hypothesis. Seriously, who needs WebMD when you can watch Boy in a Band videos at 2 o'clock in the morning? Yay, insomnia! Now, this kind of hyperbolic discounting can be used all throughout the course of life, and I'm going to give you 2 big examples of where it becomes treacherous. One, in a professional capacity, and now this is actually something that I have experienced in the past. In a professional setting, a big example is, oh look, my boss quit. I deserve a raise, I deserve a promotion, I deserve X, Y, and Z, despite the sheer fact that I don't have the training, I don't have the background, I don't have the experience, and I've been written up several times for behaviors I refuse to correct. However, I deserve it. Go me. The second example, which we've all probably experienced, either us doing it ourselves or witnessing other people, is in the personal and, I guess more specifically, the relationship concept. Oh, look, I'm single. I should be in a relationship right now. I'm cute, I'm funny, I'm charming, I'm intelligent, I'm engaging. Ruling out the fact that I don't know what I want in a partner, and I probably have a lot of emotional healing that I have to do before I get back into the relationship. But I should be in one for the sake of it. Yay, short-term thinking. Notice me! So, with those 2 examples aside, now I want to get into the meat of this entry, how hyperbolic discounting is hazardous. And that is from the viewpoint of the content creator. Now, I am not saying that setting goals for ourselves is a bad thing. It's not. As a YouTuber and as a former streamer that's eventually going to get back into it, I have set goals for myself. And I think that is a big thing for us to set goals for ourselves so we can learn and grow and develop and hone our craft. But it comes down to a specific thing, and that is coming up with content that we are satisfied with. Now, look, YouTube and Twitch, Mixer, all these other platforms are wonderful for developing an audience and growing our numbers and reaching out to more people. But the sole fact is we got into these platforms as content creators to express and show our creativity, whether it is game walkthroughs, whether it's movie reviews, whether it's social commentary, whether it's opinion pieces. We have an amount of creativity that we want to express to others and we want others to see. That is a very good goal. However, there are a few ways we can grow our channels. The least logical is what I call the lottery effect, and that is finding somebody with enough popularity and enough influence on the platforms to be able to shout us out, as it were, and then by that grow our numbers exponentially. A well-proven fact that is how Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, respectively, got shoutouts by PewDiePie, who is still to this day the #1 creator on the platform, on the YouTube platform, that is. And through that shout-out, people began to notice them, but they still had to prove themselves to be a reliable content creator. That sort of thing, while it does happen on rare occasion, it is few and far between. Example number 2 is the one that most of us have to do, and that is grind. Coming up with creative commentary and content that we are happy with and that we want to share, being consistent and reaching out and networking to people. Now, networking is crucial in order to grow our platforms. However, and this is a big however, is there is a line of networking. Now, before you Lloyds out there say that I don't know what I'm talking about, let me give you some example. I am a professional networker, okay? I have to network every single day in a professional capacity, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I have been networking since I was 16 years old. That is a 20-year period of constantly talking and constantly networking with individuals. Networking is a bilateral process. It is not strictly me giving out my business card to you saying, come check me out. I'm good, I'm fun, and damn it, people like me. That's not the case. You have to be able to work with somebody. It is a symbiotic relationship of developing friendships and producing content that you both like, that give them a reason to come over to you and to be able to rely on you to give back to them. It cannot be an isolated event. It has to be a regular basis. And as a content creator, I have relied heavily on networking with people, but never once have I ever gone under the option that they would give back. I will promote the living hell out of indie developers, indie movie creators, and other small time and maybe even medium-sized content creators because A, I back what their message is, I back their content, and I know by giving back to their community, I am helping them out. And then maybe, and this is a big, heavy-handed maybe, somebody in their viewing pool might notice that I produce something that they might be interested in. Will that happen? Who knows? Who gives a damn? But I know from my perspective as a creator, I am producing honest content and I am networking. Now, this is where hyperbolic discounting comes into play. Now, I'm self-declared the opposite of hyperbolic discounting. I cannot think in the present. I am constantly thinking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year down the pike, and how I can develop a timeline, both in a professional capacity, a personal capacity, and as a content creator. Where the hell am I going with all this exposition dump? This is where it comes into category number 3 after the grind. And that is what really boils my piss. And that is what I call clout chasers. These are individuals who are so focused on the immediate present and their numbers instead of producing honest content and networking to the point that they slowly and organically grow, that they just want to fill an empty slot to satisfy themselves to the point it's almost like creation porn. Now, we all know porn is a way to satisfy our libidos thinking we have just banged perfect tens for hours or a couple of seconds to get that immediate hyperbolic discount that our gratification has been taken care of, as opposed to focusing on the long-term goals. Now, this is what pisses me off the most, and I'm going to try and go into why clout chasers bother me. And the first thing that I want to talk about is solely a numbers game. Numbers. Yes, they are pretty. As a content creator, we check our numbers. Now, I do want to be explicit on the fact that I'm going to be referring to mostly YouTube because that's the platform I primarily deal with. I haven't done Twitch in a while, but that's going to fall into a category later on when we talk about streaming and whatnot. Anyway, so Numbers are nice. We go to our YouTube channel. We go to our social media platforms, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and we want to see how we're doing. Have we lost numbers? Have we gained numbers? But there is a lot more behind getting noticed than strictly the numbers game, about how many subscribers you have. Now, a couple of years ago, I was very blessed and fortunate enough to have Sinvicta, a content creator that I very much respect and been following for I don't know how many years, on my podcast, and asked him what kind of advice he had for burgeoning content creators. And the thing he said specifically was consistency, producing regular material. He was also kind enough to talk about how the algorithm functions. And he said that on my cast, he said that on a lot of his episodes of Binding of Isaac and whatnot. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't get when it comes to growing on the YouTube platform. It's not just a numbers game. The algorithm focuses on a myriad of things: views, how long they have viewed you, likes/dislikes, and comments. That is what will make you noticeable according to the YouTube algorithm. Now, obviously, YouTube has had a lot of changes over the years that have made it more difficult for content creators to produce decent things. However, and big freaking however, is where the hyperbolic discounting comes in. People see numbers, they see subscribers, and that's all they view. And there's like, oh, look at me. I've got 200 subscribers right now. In 3 weeks, I can hit 250 because of X, Y, and Z. And that is just the biggest crock of bullshit. Is these people that are so focused on only numbers that their content suffers, that their personality suffers, and it just becomes a borderline obsession. Now, there are just things to try and satisfy said hyperbolic discounting, and this is really what makes me want to pull my hair out, and I'm so glad it's dark right now because you can't see the gray right now, is example number 1. What I call quid pro quo filling. Now, for those that use Twitter and those that use Discord know what I'm talking about. The sub for sub, the follow for follow, or the newest iteration, support for support. It's all the same. It's that, like this tweet, retweet it, post your information, and pray to God that somebody actually comes on and likes or subscribes to your channel. That only satisfies a fraction of the algorithm. And does it really satisfy things in the long term? Are you getting an empty number? Are you getting an actual person that likes your content, that's going to interact with you on a regular basis? 99.9% of the times, it's not. But for those of us that see the immediate goal, the micro, they're going to see numbers going up. And from that, it becomes so apparent that their obsession just goes out of whack. And people who produce decent content, who I like and respect, are just so focused on just trying to get their 150 to 151 subscribers that they set obscene goals for themselves, and you see it posted 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times on social media. I'm like, what are you thinking? And it just drives me up the wall that these people are relying solely on empty promises and empty bots that I want to send them a link to Fiverr and say, donate $20 for a bot. And some of these people are doing that out of sheer desperation to try and increase the size of their micro penis. Or their micro vag. Take your pick. I don't know. Yeah, this is definitely not going to get monetized. But as opposed to honestly doing it, I interact a lot with a content creator who she has quite a few numbers, and she agrees with me. It's not a numbers game. It's all about producing content you're happy with, because if you're happy, it's going to project onto your viewers and your audience. What's the point of having an empty number backing you up if there's nothing else to work with you on said thing? Think about it for 5 seconds. And once again, I'm not saying that it's not a good way to try and reach out to other audience members. If I didn't, consistently go talk to Ravenclaw, who's a dear friend of mine, by the way, I don't think she would have checked me out, has talking to me, but here's the thing, is we became friends before I started trying to say, hey, can I get your opinion on this? We have a firm baseline, and the same case goes with other people that she works with. Other people like Mayday, Lexi Kitty, Panicked Monk, dear friends of mine. We have this firm established relationship where if we have time, yes, we're going to go check each other out. We're going to leave feedback. But it's only when we have time. Constantly pushing this material is like borderline content rape. You don't want to, but they're going to keep forcing it down your throat. It just, I don't understand it whatsoever. And people who shove it in my face, I don't say anything because me trying to say something otherwise is going to cause them hurt, and they're still going to do it. So until the reality smacks them in the face, they're still not going to do anything about trying to find a better way to manage their content. And the second thing that drives me up the wall are these still going into the shoving in your faces, are these people, these grown freaking adults, that the only interaction with you are to tag you in posts saying basically, come watch me. This is happening in 3 days. This is happening in an hour. Without taking into account that, maybe this person hasn't been watching me, whether it's on YouTube or more prominently Twitch, because of something. And yet they still continue to do so in hopes that maybe by dangling this carrot in front of their noses, they're going to do something like, retweet, blast it all over social media, and hopes they're going to get a few more nibbles. Most of us are adults, quite a few of us with 3rd grade reading levels, but still, it comes down to us what we're going to think if we are actually going to do something. Continually force-feeding us everything, blasting your egos to try and get more nibbles is not a healthy or valid way to do it. You have to network with people, and you have to produce something that they will watch when they have time. That is, once again, there's nothing wrong with tagging people. But if you're going to do it on a regular basis, you need to have a valid reason, and you need to think about the long term as opposed to your immediate self-gratification. And not a lot of people get that. Here's an example, just so I can bring things into a personal level. Yes, I upload content. I have goals set for myself. I've said repeatedly in entries about how I'm going to be shaping the future of the project. For almost a year now, I have been releasing 2 video game releases per week. And the goal is I'll be doing 2 movie reviews per week. When something has been uploaded and published, excuse me, sorry guys, I'm not feeling really well. It's been a rough couple of weeks. But I've been wanting to push this out for a while. I uploaded to Twitter. I uploaded to a couple of Discord channels. But people are going to do what they want to do. If they want to watch my content, great. If they want to watch it and forget about it, fine. But by continuously nagging people to watch my content, which I don't do, it's going to get people just going, okay, fine, I'll watch 5 minutes of it and say, hey, GG, good job, whatever. Move on, next target. And I just don't quite understand what people intend to hope to get as a result of this constant pushing. I can't even go onto Twitter or Instagram with all of a sudden being tagged in 2, 3, 4 posts, and that is the only interaction I have with these people as opposed to conversations, whether it's, hey, have a great day, hope you're doing well. It's almost to the point where it's like watching an anime with some of these people. Senpai, notice me? Full disclosure, I had to look up what senpai meant. I don't watch anime. Whatever. But that's really just what it comes down to, is this hyperbolic discounting that their immediate needs are going to be met by quid pro quo, by blasting every asshole and their grandparent as much as the figures on Twitter or Discord or social media will allow you to do, in hopes that one person is going to get there. We all have a core audience we like and that will watch our content and that will watch their content, or if they're streaming, we're going to watch them I don't have a lot of time to watch streamers. So usually I watch maybe Deafening Clown or Ravenclaw when I have time because I know that their content is decent and I'm going to be treated with respect among them and their colleagues. People who go into streams and say, hey, come watch me, I'm leaving to go stream, check me out. Do you really think that these people are actually going to respect you for just blasting your own self-promotion without permission? And I have posted on Discord several times, quit serial blasting, quit tagging me in posts that I don't have any relation to. Yes, we follow each other. Yes, when I have time, I will check you out. Yes, I get the notifications on YouTube. I work 12 to 15-hour days. And when I have time, I check in. I watch things. But I'm going to do it on my own time, and the rest of us hominids are going to do the same. Stop thinking about the immediate future without thinking about where you want to go with your content far down the pike. Not even far down the pike. A week down the pike. Keep your goals consistent, but also keep them relevant, because what happens when you hit that point? You hit that deadline. Either A, you achieve your goal, or B, you don't hit it. You're going to have an incredibly bad time if you don't hit it, and you're going to find ways to overcompensate for not hitting that with even more unelaborate and even more unconvincing and goals that you will never achieve, or you're going to go, what now? Just take some time to think about your own goals and what you want. And remember, as a content creator, whether YouTube or streaming, it comes down to being happy with what you release. The rest will come naturally. Put the hyperbolic discounting aside. Stop trying to serial blast and stroke your own ego, and actually focus on wanting to have release content that people will genuinely enjoy. So, yeah. There is my rant, getting off my soapbox, but what it comes down to, once again, is just take a few minutes to think and enjoy the ride. Be satisfied with what you're producing. Things will fall into place. I'm not saying stop networking, stop promoting. Don't do that. But do so in a fashion where it's not unhealthy, where it's not unconducive to growth and development. Don't shove things down people's throat. A friend of mine once told me a story about POWs in a country. And there were two categories. Those that were very rude and unrelenting to their captors, and they were treated like dirt. The second one were those that were relatively respectful, albeit resentful for the situation they were stuck in, and they were granted little liberties here and there, going into town, having a little bit more freedom. And that's where it comes into play, is stop thinking about your own goddamn ego and your own hyperbolic discounting and focus on what you like, and the future will fall into place. So that's just my opinion, and it's all just my own opinion. It's truth to me, and the people that I've talked to agree with me for a chunk of them. But once again, your content is your content. You're going to wind up doing what you want. But all I'm saying is, think about what other people think. Be more cognizant and let things fall into place where they are. So I don't think Off the Rails is going to be doing too much. It's probably sporadic unless another hot button topic affects me or those that I care about. But that's my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours. What do you think about these individuals who do blasting of others on social media to try and get noticed? What do you think about these quid pro quo people, or these, hey, when are you going to come watch me? When are you going to come view me? I'm leaving to go stream. I'm leaving to go record. I'd love to hear your opinion within reason. Be kind, be polite, be constructive, because that's what I'm trying to do. Once again, let me know. I read every comment, and I try to reply to every comment. Also, of course, a big thank you to Christoph Ray for being a sponsor of the Boogie Night Project. If you like excellent low poly hard games, check the link in the description below. I guarantee you his content is fantastic. And of course, with that being said, before I call it a session, of course, if you like the Boogie Night Project and you want to find out more, entirely up to you. I do have a Twitter page and a public Discord channel. Links to both of those are in the description below. And of course, my temporarily down Twitch page, which I will be picking back up down the future. And of course, if you're so morbidly fascinated, I do have a Patreon, even though I'm still slowly trying to work out the rewards. Once again, entirely up to you if you guys want to check that out or not. Otherwise, with that being said, I hope y'all have a fantastic night, and I'll catch you on the flip side, alright? Peace.